Hi, welcome back to Mr. Silver's Math, and today we're going to talk about histograms and dot plots. So the warm-up is just asking us to find the measures of central tendency and the range. So our mean, remember, is our average. We add up all the numbers and divide by how many data points we have. The median is the middle number. Make sure your numbers are in ascending order, lowest to highest. The mode is the number that appears most often, and then the range is the largest minus the smallest. So today we're focusing partly on the dot plot. And a dot plot shows each item of numerical data above a numbered line or horizontal axis. So the first example says students were surveyed about the preferred snack and the results are listed below. How many students prefer popcorn? So here we have preferred snack choices. Here we have the different responses: popcorn, pretzels, M&Ms, Twizzlers, and Kit Kats. Each dot represents one survey point, one data point. So one person said they liked popcorn, and then another and another, maybe not in that order, but that's how many you have. So how many students prefer popcorn? 8. And all I did was count the dots. How many students prefer Twizzlers? 6. All I did was count the dots. How many students prefer pretzels and Kit Kats? So we just add them up. 4 and 3. So 4 plus 3 is going to give us 7. And how many students responded to the survey? We just count how many dots that there were. In this case, there was 26. So example 2 is having you create your own dot plot. So 10 students were asked about their favorite TV shows, and their responses are listed below. Some people said SpongeBob, Vampire Diaries, Gilmore Girls, Jersey Shore, and then those repeated as needed. So here's my graph. I have TV shows. I need to label my graph, and then I just abbreviated. So SB was SpongeBob, VD was Vampire Diaries, GG Gilmore Girls, and JS was Jersey Shore. And all I did was put dots for each indication. So those were dot plots. Right? It literally has a dot. So now we're going to switch gears. So this question is asking you, what do you notice? What's the same? What's different? So you may notice they both have numbers. They both have titles. They both represent some sort of data. This one kind of looks like a bar graph, but it kind of doesn't because I've got a range of numbers here. I also have numbers on the side over here on this axis, but there wasn't over here. There may be more things that are the same and different that you notice. This was a dot plot, and this is a histogram, and that's what we're getting into now. So a histogram is a graphical representation of the distribution of data. These are similar to a bar graph, but group numbers into frequencies. So which of the following histograms represents the data in the table below? So here is my interval. I had frequency. So this is saying between the numbers of 4 and 8, 8 people responded. Between the interval of 9 to 13, 3 people responded. Between the interval of 14 to 18, 10 people responded. And between the interval of 19 to 23, 5 people responded. So I just go through and I try and find which one matches that information. So my intervals were 4 to 8, 9 to 13, 14 to 18, 19 to 23, and they all have the same intervals. So then it's just the frequency that we have to check. And letter D was the only one that matched that information. Example 4 is asking us to answer the questions based off the histogram. So it shows the heights for students in Kyra's class. What is the total number of students in the class? We just add how many responses we had. So 2, 4, 5, 4, and 1 gave us 16. And it says, according to the information, how many students are taller than 189 centimeters? So 189, now it says taller. So that would be this column, which is 4, and then this one is 1. So 4 plus 1 would be 5. So it'd have 5 students that are taller than 189 centimeters. And example 5 is asking you to create your own histogram. So it talks about your hand span. Here are all of my numbers. And in order to do that, because remember, your histogram has intervals. So the bottom, my x-axis, if you will, is going to have my intervals. So I need to figure out what those intervals are, what those bins are. Well, in order to do that, I need to find the range. And remember, the range is your largest number minus the smallest number. So 28 minus 15 is going to give me 13. So I'm going to take 13, and I'm just going to divide it by 3. I get 4.3, or about 5 bins. So you may be wondering why I chose 3. Well, if you have too small of a number, if I divide by 1, I'm going to have too many bins. I'm going to have 13 bins. If I divide by 2, I'm going to have about 6.5, or we're going to round up, I'll have 7 bins. But if you notice down here, I don't have 7 spots in my table. So I'm choosing a number that would fit into this information. Okay. If I have too large of a number, or if I have too many bins, the histogram is not going to be very relevant. If I have too few bins, then I'm only going to have like 2 categories, and it's not really going to be very effective to have a histogram. So I'm going to start with the lowest number, and I have 3 per bin. So I'm choosing to finger count. So 15, 16, 17. There's 3. 18, 19, 20. There's 3. 21, 22, 23. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. And then I'm just tallying. I'm going through 19, I put a tally. 18, I'm putting a tally. 20, I'm putting a tally. 21, I'm putting a tally. Remember, this is a range. Right? So anything between 18 and 20 goes in here, or anything between 21 and 23 goes in here. Here are my total responses. So based off those numbers and these intervals, I'm creating my histogram. So I've got my hand span in centimeters. I'm labeling my number of students. 15 to 17 was 4. 18 to 20 was 12. 21 to 23 was in between 4 and 6, which would make 5. 24 to 26, I had 2 people, and then I had 1 at the very end. Okay, and I chose to count by 2s over here. And my graph wasn't very tall. This axis wasn't very tall, so if I counted by 1s, I may have ran out of room, so I chose 2s. So today we talked about a histogram, which is similar to a bar graph, but on the bottom it's grouping things. So I have a bin, I have a range for each one of these bars. And then I had my histogram,